I have had a delivery. And this is by far probably the most expensive thing, or group of things, that I've spent money on for this van. But it's not only this, I also have a 300 watt solar panel, which is what I'm going to be installing today. Now before I struggle up onto the roof and attempt to fit this solar panel, let me just explain to you what's in the box. What's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? I took the easier option of ordering all of this from Calidus, who are a company that specialise in electrics for vans, boats, motorhomes, sheds. And what happens is they do these kits and it comes with everything you need, from the wires, all of the connections, and they also give you a wiring diagram as well, which for a novice like me, bearing in mind I have wired up a couple of vans before, so my knowledge isn't completely nil, but this will make it all so much easier, simply because it gives you all the information about what wire sizes to use, what fuses to use for what products. It just makes it so much easier. And other than all of the wires and connections and everything, in the box we have the DC to DC charger, which kind of works like the split relay that I had in the last van, but because this van's got a smart alternator, you have to have one of these. The MPPT solar charge controller, this is what's going to take the charge from the solar panels and put it straight into the leisure battery. Battery on and off switch, very important. It comes with two bus bars. This one's for the earth or ground or whatever you want to call it, and this one's for the live feed. It also comes with a smart shunt. As it's a smart shunt, it all works off an app, so literally you can go onto the Victron app and it will tell you how much charge you've got left in your batteries. More fuse boxes, more wires, more wires, more wires. Even though I don't need this, they did send me all of the mounting plates for the solar panel. However, because I've got a roof rack, I won't be using these. I did order online a set of roof rack solar mounts. And also in here is the flange to send the wires down from the roof down into the van. And then we've got this big boy. Now this is really heavy. This is the MultiPlus 2000 watt. It's essentially an inverter, but what it also does is when you're plugged into the mains, it does actually charge the batteries as well. That's going to be a fairly hefty job, simply because that's when you start messing with like 230 or 240 volts in a van, and that is where it gets a little bit more dangerous than working with 12 volt. But I have faith. The instructions will not do me wrong. Now, as I said, I did order this all from the company Calidus. This video isn't sponsored. I did pay for these products and it wasn't cheap, but it's just for simple peace of mind that I've got a full wiring diagram that I can go off. And so I guess it's time to get this solar panel up on the roof and get it all measured out. It's upside down. Never fear. Doesn't matter. Oh, jeez. Right, where's it gonna go? Right. Any chance it looks good there? Why did I choose the hottest day of the year to do this? I know, I could have probably taken the packaging off down there, but just figured it might protect it. I doubt it, but look at that! Wow, solar. Now I think probably the hardest bit is working out where to put the brackets, simply because they need to line up with these roof bars, and unfortunately the way that this solar panel is built, the mounting holes are along this side as opposed to this side here. And I don't really want to have to drill more holes unless I need to, just simply because, knowing me, I'd go through and crack the pano. So I'm just trying to make it work with the existing holes that are already there. The other thing is as well, is these mounts are sort of designed to go like that. So which would mean that the pano would need to be mounted that way as opposed to that way. So rather than the panos being mounted here like this, they're going to be mounted there like that. And then that part there will just screw into the bottom of that. It'll be just as strong, it's just not going to be as pretty. Ugh, God, my knees. Somebody said to me, get some knee pads. Ugh. Good job I put my other van here. As nice as black roof bars look, they get very hot in the sun. So that's pleasant. Right. Ah, there we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 brackets in place. I'm not going to lie, today's been a bit of a nightmare. It's been really hot. This is really heavy. The support things seem to work really well, but I've just been like messing up. And there's not, like with this solar panel up here, now there's not really a lot of room up here for like stepping around and things. I keep tripping over things and it's really high up. I moved my other van over so I could kind of use that as something to stand on, but it's too far away. It's not often during this van build that I get a bit like, oh, I just want to give up. Not like completely give up, but give up for the day, and today's that day. But I'm going to soldier on. So I replaced the self-tapping screws with 8mm bolts and some nylock nuts as well, the nylon threaded ones. That isn't going anywhere. It's fitted. The hoover's there. I've been hoovering up all the metal. So after a long day, I started at 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 5:30 and it's fitted. I'm going to call it a day. It's another day, and you probably didn't gather this from what happened yesterday, but I was actually really stressed out putting that solar panel up. And the job for today is going to fit this little shroud on the roof to feed the wires down through the roof and then pipe them down through the wall. Now yesterday I did actually make a little bit of a boo-boo. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. All of the conduit that I've run through the walls, which is down here, it's all got this string on it, and that's so that I can tie on the wires and literally just pull them through with ease. But what I didn't realise is that you're supposed to use nylon string, because yesterday I was trying to run some wires for the other side where the reading lights are going to go, and the string snapped. Right, I snapped it. So now the conduit that's up here is completely pointless because there's no string going through it whatsoever. And now I might try the plastic bag technique, where you put a plastic bag attached to a bit of string on there, get a hoover and just suck it through. But unfortunately there is a couple of joins in that conduit where I've had to join a couple of bits. I'm not sure how well the suction's going to work, but that's for another day. I'm not even going to consider doing that today because it stressed me out so much yesterday. That on top of putting the solar panel up, yeah, it did me in. I guess I better get back up on the roof and feed these wires down. I think that probably the best place for this to go is going to be here. It's pretty flat, and one of the benefits of Ford Transits having these grommets that I've sealed over here, which I'll just pick off, is that I don't have to drill any fresh holes in the van. I can literally just pick out that grommet and I'm going to have access inside. Now both the positive and the negative wires are both black, which is handy. This is the positive coming straight from the solar panel, and I know that because it's got a plus on it. And this is the negative because it's got a minus on it. So I'm not obviously going to connect this wire up to the extension that's going to go down through the roof just yet, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tape at the other end, just so that because both the wires are black, it just means that I'll know when coming to connect it up which side's positive and which side's negative. So a bit of tape, I'm just going to put a little plus on there so that I know at the other end that's definitely the positive. Now before I clean it up there and seal it and everything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out the way that I'm going to get these wires down to where the battery is going to be. I do have this bit of conduit here, which I've now wound with some nylon string, so that should actually work now. So I've got to get those 2 wires down through there, but I've also got to get another 3 wires, 1 for the max air fan and 2 for the lights. So it's probably going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. So I was pulling through the conduit again with my nylon string this time. However, the tape snapped that I taped the wire to the nylon with. So now that conduit is now pointless. I think the moral of the story is don't do too many bends, which is what I did, which is why it's a nightmare. So I did have to get a little bit brutal. I haven't filmed any of this because, well, the amount of swearing I did, I just didn't want to be bleeping it out. So we all know this bit of trim that I've got that goes all the way around here. Well, I've ripped it off, I've cut a channel, and I've fed all the wires down behind there and out through there. Don't worry, no one will ever know, because once I've put it back together it will look absolutely fine. But that was quite stressful. No one would ever know. So whilst that glue goes off up on the roof and I've got all the wires run, I can now start thinking about wiring up the solar. I've actually built something to go on the front of here. This is a 9mm bit of ply that's going to fix against that wall and hide all the wires behind it. But one of the benefits of doing it this way, everything that's going to be mounted to this, I can actually plan it out off the van before I install it. Now the solar straight from the solar panels needs to come down and go into one of these cut-off switches, because the issue with solar is that when the sun's out or any time of day you've got a constant feed coming down, so you need to be able to cut it off in case of an emergency. From that it goes into the Victron MPPT charge controller, so literally it's going to go from there into here. One of the benefits of having this raised platform to mount everything to is I can keep it nice and tidy by literally putting the wires through the back of the wall and then out the front. So, because I've seen a lot of people do this and they always seem to have like crossing wires, and I've got a bit of OCD and I like my wires to be nice and clean and tidy. So I'm thinking 2 holes out into there, 2 holes into there, and then the wires can come back up in through here. So they're going to be holes like this, just only smaller, just big enough to fit the wires through. This one's slightly bigger because this is where the earth is going to go in through to the chassis. And even though I'm not going to be fitting everything that's going to go onto this today, I still need to work out where I'm going to put it. I mean, as good as this looks, I'm probably not going to put the inverter on this side. Simply because, one, it's really heavy, so this 9mm ply isn't going to be man enough. And two, I'd rather have it on this wall here. And the only reason why is because there's a switch on there. In my opinion, it's better to be able to just put your hand around here and flick the switch on the inverter than have to climb all the way in here and press the button over there. I mean, it's not a big difference, but it does matter. Now with this all in place where I want it, this is one of the things that didn't come in the kit that I ordered, and it doesn't actually come with a wiring diagram, but luckily I got it off Amazon and there is a picture on there of how you should wire it up. So plus in this side goes in, loops round, and then the plus comes out there and comes out there, and then the negative in there and out there. Easy enough. Here's a little trick for you. This is probably the point where I should explain to you. I'm not an electrician, so don't necessarily do what I do, but I'm trying to crimp this little sleeve onto the wire here, and these didn't do anything. The big ones are too big. So what I'm actually doing is I've got a screw, and I've placed that against there, and then I'm just literally squeezing it together with some pliers, and the screw's actually giving it just something to bite into. Positive. Now, considering yesterday was pretty stressful, I'd say that was a well spent couple of days. I'd love to be able to turn it on and show you everything fire up, but unfortunately I've not sourced a leisure battery yet, so because of that we'll just have to wait until another video for me to fire it up. I know what everyone's probably thinking. Yes, I'm gonna have to take this back down when I mount the other bits and bobs, but that's not a problem. I've literally, the only thing holding it to the body are these two wires here, and they're so simple to remove. So just disconnect those, pull it all off, and then put the rest of it on. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone that's donated to the channel through the link in the description by buying me a beer. I really appreciate it. But if you're enjoying these videos and you want to see the van build from start to finish, then check out this playlist right here, and I'll see you next week. Cheers!